Hi, good morning, Linnet.
Good morning, Kumaran. It's a beautiful day.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is on a Saturday, and it's such a pleasure to connect with you once again and carry on with our Your Voice, Your Legacy sessions with the Insurance Collective. So thank you so much, Linnet, for being part of this.
And I would like to thank you for the invitation. It's an honor to be able to contribute whatever that I know to make the industry a better place.
Indeed, and that's what we are all here for, Linnet. The whole concept of Your Voice, Your Legacy is where we connect with industry professionals, pioneers. We call them legends in the industry who are out to share their thoughts, values, and actions. And what better person to hear from than you, Linnet, CEO of the Financial Planning Association in Malaysia. So please do share a bit more about yourself and your narrative in the insurance industry.
Will do. I would like to share a slide here. I just call it up because it kind of lines up how I got to where I am.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, I believe I'm put here on this earth to make life a better place for myself first, because so that I can help myself. And when I can help myself, I can help other people. So when I would like it to be that when my day is done, when my last breath I'm having my last breath, I would say, yes, I've done what I want to do. I'm satisfied. I'm ready to go. So that's why it started with this journey. I'm just going to talk about my financial industry journey, because prior to that, I've been in commercial world, and we were talking about sales, management. I enjoyed that journey, but I found the financial industry more satisfying because it gives you an opportunity to touch the financial lives of many people. So unbeknown to a lot of people, I actually started my life as an agent. And as you can see through the pathway, I've taken certification to make sure that I am equipped to be able to go on in the industry. And along the way, I also threw in other skills, such as training. I think I didn't put it in here, but I also took up neuro-linguistic programming at the very basic, that is the practitioner stage. The reason being that you need to change your mindset. I love behavioral science, but I find that psychology is something that tells you what is wrong with you, whereas in neuro-linguistic programming they treat you as you're all right, but where have you strayed? And they try to help you to come back. Mm-hmm. And it also teaches you to manage your thoughts. And this is very important, because when you do financial planning, your very thoughts are the ones that's going to carry you much, much, much further right to the end of your life. So that's why this was another skill that I picked up. And sometime in 2014, as they say, be careful what you wish for, because I still remember I told myself, after completing my commercial life, working, my commercial career, I said I wanted to be in a job where I can do things right by the staff, give them the kind of environment to work, and at the same time be able to help people in their personal financial lives. And voila, I never expected to be the CEO of FPAM. So when the job came, I took it up because not am I was able to help people on a national level, rather than just, as an agency, as a company. I was head of financial planning for a while, but this one is on a more national scale, and also an ability to talk to regulators and give input from the ground level, so that the regulators are able to understand how the industry works and come up with policies that are more relevant to the industry. So this is where I am now.
Oh, that's a journey.
Yes, and the journey has not ended. Phase 2 is coming. I plan to retire. We have a retirement age. And when I retire, I plan to take up license and become a financial planner, fee-based.
Right. Wow. Wow. It's a whole spectrum, isn't it, Linnet? Starting as a consultant, then, through all these different accolades and achievements, and very interestingly, NLP. I think you were quite spot on the fact that being a practitioner, it's about identifying where the loopholes are and then coming back to the course again. And then CEO of FPAM, and then thereafter, and they say, right, when you're done with the work, retire and then start back again as a fee-based consultant, a planner. Wow, thank you so much for this journey, Linnet. But could I ask, in between, how did you sustain? It's almost 20 over years being in the insurance industry. How do you sustain that momentum and that spirit in it?
It's a cliche when they said that if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. This is a dream career. Of all the careers that I have, this has been the longest, the most fulfilling, and I can't get enough of it. And I believe I'm going to do this until the day I die.
Wow. That just shows the passion and integrity you have in this business, right? Because we see that integrity is such a key part of it all. The sustainability of being in the insurance industry, it's all about how you come across and what value you give to the industry. But you have gone beyond, my friend. You have gone from adding value to your client's portfolio to adding value to the entire industry and community at large.
Well, if you want things to progress, you need to look at the whole ecosystem as well as the stakeholders that are in it. And you need to work with all of them. And all of us have to work as a team, be congruent, then only things can move forward. I'm sure you agree with that, Kumaran.
Absolutely. It takes all of us to be part of this community and ecosystem, yes. And that is such a pleasant thing to see that has changed over the past few years, especially. Even me and at the Insurance Collective, working with several partners and associations who have been very forthcoming in sharing their thoughts and their ideas and how we can all expand together as a community. Yeah, that's so true, Linnet. And Linnet, I would like to ask you this question, if you don't mind. Beyond this, right, what challenges did you face in this process, in this journey here?
The thing is, I have done sales in a non-financial industry, and I have been very fortunate because I was a pharmaceutical rep, so I did ethical sales. Then I moved into electrical and electronics. That one's a very technical based kind of sales where I have to pick up things that skills which I've not learned in school. But the one thing that came across is that being client-centric is everything. And when I step into the financial industry, with the sales experience that I have from outside, I found that there were a lot of improvements to be made. One of the things that I wanted to share, and I am going to share another slide. Let me stop this and share what are the challenges that we all see in the industry. All right. And this is very important. But before that, I would like to show everyone the financial planning ecosystem first, because one of the main challenges I see when I stepped in, and I started as an agent, not as a financial planner, and the narratives ever go ongoing is there will be one school that says, financial plan is everything, and then there's the other school, the agents will say that, nah, you cannot make money, or don't do financial planning. I'm sure you hear that in Singapore as well. So what a lot of people do not realize is there's a whole ecosystem to support this, and insurance is an integral part of financial planning. So let me start by giving you this sharing with you the slides. Now, as our clients earn income, whether it's through business or work, they of course naturally they have to take off their savings first from their income. They minus off the expenses, and whatever surplus they will invest to accumulate and grow, and so that they can achieve their life goals. Now, in this loop, you see that savings can also be part of the life goals that a person save for.
Yes.
And then tax is something like death. You can't run away. You have to pay. Even if your income is illegal, you still have to pay. That's why I once told someone that prostitutes and murderers and scammers are taxable. As far as the income, the income tax is concerned, I don't care how you earn money. That one is for the police and the court, the judiciary system to handle. But as long as you have an income, I'm taxing you. Okay, so income tax must be paid. Now, if you look at this, then you say, hey, what else? You see, in life, there's a lot of risk that we take, and you see this huge word that says protection. And to me, the insurance industry is protection. Why? Because from where I come from, insurance and Takaful are the solutions to the needs of people. That's why I call it protection rather than just insurance per se. Mm-hmm. Now, when all of this is done, then there's another part. Retirement is a huge word. There's one more part of retirement that's very important, and that's planning for end of life and ultimately distribution. So as you can see, financial planners do not discount insurance. In fact, when they are planning for their clients, this is one of the things that they put first. Because if the client cannot take care of themselves financially, they will not be able to achieve their goals. They're not going to be able to achieve their investment, because things will stop halfway if someone were to be disabled or to die. So this is something that I wanted to have everybody on the same page so that they can see that we do not compete, but we actually complement each other.
Yes, indeed.
So I want to move away from this type of thought, and that would reduce a challenge in this area, that there is a need to compete. All right. Yes. Now, the other thing that I also want to highlight is FPAM as an association. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of certified members. Majority of 51% of our members are certified. But if you look carefully, insurance, okay, so first comes is in unit trust industry who are members. Second is the financial advisory industry. And next is the bank and the insurance industry. Now, if you were to add the bank, the insurance, and the financial advisory business together, is huge. And why I say you add them all together is because the banks do offer insurance. The financial advisors also does distribute insurance for their clients, and then the insurance industry. Mm-hmm. So it's our industry is interrelated. You can't run from it. Yeah. So having said that, I have set the platform. I want to share what are the challenges that I see in terms of what they see today. And I must say that it cuts across agencies, whichever industry it is. All right. I see the same with the insurance industry as well. So let me share this slide. Yeah. If you look at the challenges between agents and agency leaders, sometimes there is a difference in thoughts. Most of the senior leaders have been around for many, many years. And some of the things that some of the leaders may not be aware is the challenges in the landscape, which is being faced by the new agents when they come in. All right. So I have seen this before because I've been on the ground talking to insurance as well as unit trust industries. The rookies will tell me that their group agency or their group sales managers do not understand because of the changing landscape and customer demography. The way they serve customers today is so different. And I can understand where the senior leaders come from because they have built their clientele to that they have that clientele that is with them, and they do not need to go and get new clients because their existing clients enough for them to go on for almost forever, because they'll be looking at the second generation, perhaps even the third generation for that matter. So they may not be aware that outside there things are so different. Younger people look at insurance and Takaful very differently.
Agreed.
So I think we need to bridge that gap.
Yes.
All right. Now, the other thing is, and I come from also a sales background, both commercial as well as financial. And for the longest of time, I've been taught to sell and push products.
Mm-hmm.
However, today, with the discerning clients and prospects, you need to be customer-centric. They want to know what you can do for me. They're not interested on what you want to push me. And it's very evident as you talk to them, you see them on the handphone and you're wondering why they're looking at the handphone. Are they being so rude and all that? Actually, what they're doing is they're counter-checking what you're sharing with them online to see whether what you say is accurate.
That's so true. That's so true. Yes.
So that's the other challenge that one has to agents that comes in today have to face, and they need to be able to adopt being customer-centric. All right, agency leaders must also take cognizance and help and have a different way of marketing to help their new agents and even the existing ones that they have today. The other thing is perception of professionalism. Having a professional certification or even a license does not make one a professional. All right, and that is why I'm sure many good agents out there gets agitated when they see a few bad ones. As the saying goes, a few bad apples makes a whole lot bad.
Yes.
And they want those people out. Yeah. Henceforth, management of agency force is so important. And I know the insurance industry has got a lot, BAMC and the next level and the next level. However, I realized that today, how you manage an agency, there may be a need to shift from just managing an agency into adapting a little bit more of a micro enterprise.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Yes. Yes, indeed.
And if you are helping your client in business succession, you got to make sure your own business succession is there first.
Oh, so true on that. Agreed. Yes.
So that's the other area agency leaders, I'm sure many good ones have already done that. For those who have not, this is something they might want to look at it. And then last, so professionalism is about your ethics, okay, for an individual. It's about the ethics, it's the way you work, it's the way you treat your client. That is more important. Beautiful dresses, beautiful outfits, nice cars is a very good first impression. But after that, when one opens one's mouth, that then will change how the prospect is going to look at you. And that's why when I say professionalism, compliance, ethics sells. And I swear by it. I swear by it. Sorry to be swearing on your program. Because when I did that, I find that people are more open and warm up to me, and they say, how come people don't tell me, my other agents don't tell me that? I said, because this one, they don't make so much money. With this product, they make more money. Yeah. They said, but why are you introducing this product to me? I said, because this is what you need. So that's why I say ethics will sell. And what happens to this set of clients is they will recommend their circle of friends and relations to you, because they feel that you take good care of them, and their interest, their best interest is in your heart. So that to me is professionalism. And it's not about taking them to nice restaurants. I mean, that's good, but it's the way you serve them in regards to insurance needs and the after sales service that comes with. That takes most important. I must share that during my time as an agent, besides a birthday card, I don't really splurge on my client. The reason is because I'm more focused on what I need to do next for you. How do I give you information in regards to the insurance industry? And also what are the things that changes in the industry that the client has to be aware. I think that's very, very important. Of course, for your bigger and more important clients, the need to entertain, I can understand that. But first, get the basic service there first. Then after that, you can look at those. Those are trimmings. That's how.
I agree. Yes. All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
yeah, go on. Please carry on.
And this will help the new rookies because they don't feel as though they have to splurge a lot of money, and then they get disillusioned because the premiums and their commissions are not enough. But it helps them build their competency, and then they can move up. Yeah. So that will then talk about that means it comes to self-transformation.
Yes. Yes.
So for the agency leader, transforming the agency model is very important, and how you want to succeed. I see a lot of group managers, they are very tired.
Yes, I agree.
And they want to, they are like, but I still have to meet, I need to meet targets set by the company. I need to set my manpower. Yeah. So how are you going to be able to continue your agency without having to keep running? And it can be done.
Yes, I agree. I have seen many agency leaders who have transformed their entire model because of just one flick of awareness that has come on them. And they go through that journey and they are so chilled and relaxed that the world can wait for them. But their passion still continues to exist. Their baby that they have created and carved for 20, 30 years continues to coexist in this industry. That's so right, Linnet.
Yes. And the one thing that a lot of agents and agency leaders must realize that is hiring people is a good thing. Yes. And with technology today, you can be in Bali and attending a conference and yet be able to manage your agency from there through technology. Oh, absolutely. Wow, life is good.
And we just spoke about this earlier, right?
Yes.
And this is the truth. Linnet, I would like to thank you for this particular awareness and introduction of these challenges. I would like to share with you that these are the real things. And you know, you have been on the ground. We on our end at the Insurance Collective, when we speak to both the agency leaders as well as their agents, these four key challenges is what is prevalent, not just in Malaysia, but in Singapore, Indonesia, across the board. But I come to a point where there is a circle of control and a circle of no control in traversing these challenges in totality. Where I feel, and I really resonate with you, are these points here. On the agent's perspective, their self-transformation, I think, is so key. That is a circle of absolute control that they have. Right? And the other part on the agency leaders is the management and the transformation of the agency model. That is another circle of control that if they only would be able to step out of their shell, they can really see the magnificence of what this industry can bring them and the longevity of it. Now, I would like to ask you your thoughts on this, Linnet, and perhaps seek your opinion on this. We see many agency leaders, and you have seen many of them who have been in the business for 20 years, 25, 30 years, and even more. And you're right, they have built such a huge clientele base that it's very organic. First generation, second generation, third generation even, and some of their clients even become their agents.
Oh, yes, correct.
It's a very organic way. They look at you as like, all right, let's follow uncle and auntie in this route to success, right? They see how they represent themselves. Now, and then when these agency leaders reach a certain age and they feel like, look, I don't want to sell anymore. I don't have the energy, but I've got all the expertise and the knowledge and strength. I've got my clients who would say yes to anything I propose to them. Now, under them, they would have their younger agents, they're more junior agents. And there is something that I thought about, which I would like to share with you, is something called the portfolio evaluation, right? And I feel in terms of transforming and managing the agency model, one thing that the senior agency leaders could do would be to cut up their portfolio, evaluate them, look at what makes sense for them in the context that who are my top priority clients or I call them the diehard fans. Yeah?
Mm.
They cannot listen to advice from anybody else other than that particular person, right? But the rest of them can be cut up and distributed in terms of a portfolio to the rest of the agency people under them, the agents, the new ones, the rookies, or even that. But it is like a very unique cut, right? You can't
Yes.
give a 50-year-old client to a 25-year-old agent or rookie agent. It doesn't work, right? But the 50-year-old client will have teenage children or young adult children. That's where the portfolio evaluation comes into play. And the sustenance of the agency model stays in. The agents then are also happy because, you know, they are adapting to a new landscape and demography as well. Clients are younger, they are age, they have known the culture of the agency. So that's where I really feel, Linnet, and in line with what you are saying, the transformation, that this organic integration between leaders and agents is going to be critical in the flow in the future.
And I like your sharing, and I think that makes sense. I would also like to share another model that I thought was workable because I've seen it happen. Assuming that the agency model is fantastic, is good going, and the younger agents are still wanting to hold on to that structure. So traditionally, it has been that they will recruit people to do things for them. Mm-hmm. Now, have you ever thought of having a manager in charge of insurance, which you hire? Mm-hmm. This then allows the group sales manager to continue to have someone to do the nitty-gritty of the work, to check about the recruitment. The strategic thinking comes from the group sales manager, mm-hmm. but the day-to-day operation is outsourced to a hired help who has the credentials as well as the license, but they are paid, because there are people who prefer to be paid, but they love the industry. Agreed. So with this, you can still continue to run. It's just that you don't need so much energy. You don't have to do the running yourself. You just tell them, okay, this is the strategy and how we want to do recruitment. This is a strategy, this is how I want to do. And all your existing agents are very happy because there's someone to sort of look after them. Yeah. And yet you're still at the top is the leadership. Leadership is not about doing the everyday work. That is the work of either a manager, or even if you're big enough, you may have a CEO. Yeah. I completely agree with you. And that is where it becomes a unique entity on its own, a business unit. And businesses have expenses. But this expense is more of an investment rather than anything else, right? Correct. And to your point, this can be valued. And if at any time, if they have family members to take over, well and good, business transaction. If they don't, they can still sell that business. I agree with you. Now, Linnet, in your experience with all of this is such an interesting topic. It's very close to, I can see that it's close to both our hearts because it keeps going, right? Have you seen agency leaders who have adapted to this, who say, yes, I like this entire method of transforming and managing my agency in a new way? Do you see that happening more these days? The common ones that I see are those that transform into actually a financial planning firm. Right. Because they then do holistic, and I've seen them grow because as I showed you earlier, the landscape, the overview, the ecosystem. There are other ways to make money which complements your insurance, and what happens is they find that the insurance actually grows. Because when you look after the other aspect, your clients do not need to go anywhere else. They are very happy dealing with you. So they are more likely to stay with you like generations after generations. So that is one transformation I've seen. The other transformation is an agency that has taken on partial role like a company. They have the structure of a company, maybe a micro or a small enterprise, but nevertheless, they buy professional indemnity insurance. They have proper documentations, agreements drawn up, and they define things, they have processes in place. They have even handbooks for planners, for agents, and handbook for staff. They have a back end, middle office, their front end, the whole works, but they are still an agency force. And to me, I think this is the future of the financial, the insurance industry. So whether you choose to stay within the insurance industry or you want to step out is the prerogative of the group.
Yes.
But you just need to make sure your foundation is solid so that the people that follows you and the clients that follows you are able to continue to serve them.
I completely agree with you, and I do see that that is the direction that goes forward, Linnet. I completely see that it becomes, as you said, it's like a micro business, an enterprise, and within, whether it's an agency force, yeah, within any of the big companies, or whether they are in the FA model or role, the importance of giving the client a holistic value proposition throughout every single angle, be it even financial literacy, right, for the teenagers or the kids of the clients, right, up to the estate planning element.
Correct.
Right? And that
correct.
That keeps the brand of the agency in force. I
Yes.
feel. And most people these days, right, they would come and say, look, I don't really care about which company you belong to, but I care about you and what I do with you. You know, that customer proposition is so clear between the agents, the agency leader, and the client, so much so that they follow them throughout an entire life journey.
And it was for this reason, that's why I stepped into the financial planning industry, because when I was an agent, and because I look at their goals holistically, and where areas where it's not my area of expertise, and this is where professionalism comes in. I tell them, can you please go and talk to your agent and tell them that this is what you're looking for to complement this life goal, because I'm supplying this aspect of it, the other aspect, I'm not equipped to do that. And after a while, they say, can we do it with you? So that's where I went and had all my competency added on. Yeah. And then it was just so natural progression into financial planning.
Wow.
So yeah, these are things that if you are in this industry, and if your client asks you for more, this is how you grow into, towards either financial planning or even financial advice. And there is a difference between planning and advice.
Yes, indeed. And that is a very fine line too, that sometimes gets crossed in many ways. And that leads me to my next question. How do you see this transition that is taking place in Malaysia? People moving from the agency distribution angle of it to the FA model.
And for that, I think that we need to bring in the regulators, right?
Yes.
And this is where my next slide is going to show you. This is, first and foremost, what happened was our insurance industry, historically, it was very much cowboy. It was unregulated, especially in the early 1950s. And then after that, the regulators decided, some people are being scammed, so they decided to regulate the financial industry. And so they had the Insurance Act, that is in 1963. Now, changing landscape, even regulators change. What more us in the industry? If we don't change, we get left behind. So what happened is, from then on, they had the Financial Services Act and the Islamic Financial Services Act 2013. And within that act, they had a series of strategies that they want to roll out to grow the industry and to professionalize it. And this is where the main document in the master plan is what they call the life framework. So life framework stands for life insurance and also the Takaful as well. Okay, so what happened is, they have actually, if you look from the diagram, there are many things that the regulators are changing to make it a more level playing field, as well as also to liberalize the regulation so that the insurance industry can grow. So one of the things that is very key is the removal of commission limits for many products that's in the insurance industry. And the other thing that they also implemented, and this was has taken effect in 2021, is implementation of the balance scorecard. I'm sorry, balance scorecard is for banker assurance. For the insurance industry, it was much earlier. In 2018, they implemented balance scorecard for agents, financial advisors, and insurance brokers. Mm-hmm. So, and it's good. Why I say it's good is because it brings structure to the way you work, and it also brings accountability, not only for the regulators, but actually the biggest beneficiary to all of this is the agent. Yes. Because if you can do all of this, mm-hmm. you would then build your professionalism and able to, and that exudes out as an aura that you send to your client, and your client will trust you more. So there are two ways to look at it. You can say, oh, the regulators are being so difficult. Mm-hmm. I'm so comfortable doing things as we are. Mm-hmm. But if you embrace this and you say that I want to move forward and I want to be better than I was, this is the framework that you need to embrace and run with it. So fantastic. You see, removal in 2019, they removed limits on commission and agency related expenses for investment-linked insurance, which means products will be easier for people to distribute and introduce to their clients, and it is also more interesting for the agent to embrace that. So yeah, the adjustment of commission limits, and I got a sneaky feeling, this is just a sneaky feeling, because as early as end of last year, both regulators, Bank Negara and Securities Commission, because in Malaysia, we have two regulators, one regulates licensed financial planners, another one regulates financial advisor reps, which are the people who can sell multitude of insurance, right, as long as their company ties with this, ties with the insurance providers. So they are looking at harmonizing the license.
Oh, okay,
yes.
Right.
And I just had talks, and 2 days ago I was sitting with the Life Insurance Association of Malaysia with the industry players in the industry, talking about professionalizing and talking about what competency needs to be there. Is our association ready to offer? And I said, we are ready. Tens of thousands, we have 80,000 agents there. We are ready to move them. You just tell us when, but what competency they want. What does the providers want to see? I asked that question, right, in that platform. I said, what do you want to see? Because in my mind, I know where they need to go, but you can't force people to go where you think they should be. Yes. You need them to have that buy-in. So my message out to the industry leaders at the table was that, where do you want to go? And if you know where you want to go with the business and with your talent, then let's work on a pull factor, mm-hmm, and then the education will come in. You don't have to force them. You just tell them, we're having this, and this is where you can be if you were to take this competency, because even the regulators are going to enforce it. So I would rather people want to take it because they can do better than because your regulation forced me, and therefore I just there. So the body is there, but the mind and the soul is not there.
But Darren, you see, that's what I wanted to come to, and it's interesting that you mentioned the last part of it all, right? What's the buy-in, the pull factor that you said, right, Linnet? And I actually got the answer already. But in earlier things that you said, which is that this ethical representation of having this framework in play, it is all about how that individual agency or FA then becomes a professional on all counts.
Yes.
It becomes an all-rounder, a absolutely holistic financial practitioner, not just a planner or an agent, a practitioner in that sense. And if that buy-in for these individuals is then related in such a way that, look, this is your professional standards, that you are setting for yourself in order to enable your business to grow, not just because you're satisfying regulatory bodies and CPD hours and whatnot, right? That shift therein will change the mindset of the people who are coming in for the free.
And absolutely correct.
And you already have given the answer to them. I think you were waiting for the insurance guys to tell you that, look, Linnet, your answer is there. But yeah, and how did that pan out though? Did they see this? Did they see the value of it?
I think, and I think this cuts across countries where insurance has been there for donkey years. Because when people are used to doing business in a certain way, and they find that there's nothing, don't fix anything that's broken.
Yes.
That's the saying.
Yes.
But the thing is, hey, we're talking about metaverse, we're talking about younger people buying insurance. They want things differently. Platforms. Bank Negara has got a sandbox for buying plain vanilla products online. Your new agents are going to have to reinvent themselves.
Yes, indeed.
Because it's going to be cheaper. People will not, people who need plain vanilla, they're not going to talk to your agents anymore. They'll go online, get their discounts and go.
That's right, that's right.
So I think the next thing we talk about is, so what's the solution, right?
Yes, absolutely. Challenges finished. Now we're back into the solutions. What can we do now?
So transformation of insurance industry. I love Bumblebee in Transformer. and I think this is what the insurance industry has to be. You need to stay lean. You need to stay keen, clean, and evergreen. Okay, evergreen is something that we say that, you know, your agency or your financial advisory firm can go on, you know, even when you are not around, a legacy that you leave. Yeah. So I have a few pointers that I want to bring up.
Sure.
The first one is, of course, I've expounded already, so I'm not going to belabor this point. Customer-centric, consultative selling. All right. Don't push product. When I was selling expensive fans, if I tried to push it, people will not buy. But what I did was I attended exhibitions, interior decorative and architecture exhibitions. I look at materials, interior decoration. I look at fabric. I look at wallpapers and all that. Why? What has that got to do with the fans that I was selling? You know, because then I asked my client, do you want your fan to be part of your decor, or you want it to be a talking point? Then I would recommend the one that's suited to what they need. Can you see the similarity there?
Yes, indeed.
And knowing the latest trends is very important. And over the years, I was, how many years? 4 years, 6 years? I think 6 years in the industry. I talked to architects, I talked to the contractors, I talked to even interior designers, you know, to have a good understanding and also to introduce my product. So likewise, insurance, you need to look at the stakeholders that support the industry. Oh, wow. So that's why consultative selling is very important. I still remember, I started life as a unit trust industry. I was pushed into the insurance industries because my clients don't want to talk to another agent.
Right.
And when I tried working with an agent, and I told the agent, for this client, please give me 3 SIs, okay? And he drives him mad, you know. He says, why? You are the expert. You should just tell them that they need to buy this. And I said, no. I said, insurance must be bought and not sold. So I say, so what I did was, after the 3 SIs, I present to the client, I tell them, okay, these are the 3 most suitable for you, the pros and cons for each and every one of them. And I say, any questions and what you want to ask me about these products. And at the end of the day, it was the client who made the decision. He will never come back and bite you.
Yes, that's true. So true on that.
So consultative selling is this. It's very simple. It's fun. And it's so rewarding. Okay. Next thing that I want to talk about is competency. So you must learn. You must learn how to do consultative selling. Your NLP will tell you how to to talk with your client at the level, you know, you understand whether he's an audio, or he's a visual person, he's a kinesthetic, or he's audio digital. Then you use the right tools, you use the right words, and they will buy into what you're saying. That is important. So competency at every level. And why do I go and take up training? Because it's the presentation skills. Once upon a time, I made the greatest mistake. I went technical. I thought I was impressing my client by telling them things in technical terms. You should look at the blank look the client gives me. So that's why I pick up how to laymanize everything so that they understand. Only when they understand, they will buy.
That's true.
So competency is important. Ethics and compliance, and sustainable agency force. When I say sustainable, it doesn't mean that you have to live forever. We all are human beings. We will go one day or another. And that's where you need to make sure that whatever you do is able to be handed over. So when I step out of because when I started working for FPAM, I cannot be holding license anymore.
Right.
All right. So what happened was I made sure I had a proper handover of my clients who are still my friends today and talk to me, but they are well taken care by another financial planner. And those financial planners are competent, all right? So that's why you must have a sustainable agency force. People will come and go, but how are you going to sustain the clientele? Now, I also want to say something. I see people fighting. This one is your client, this one is my client, this one is your client, this is my client. Hello, your client doesn't belong to anyone. They belong to themselves.
Yes.
What you're fighting for ownership is data of the client. Data on what they've bought or sold, all right?
Yes.
And that also is not critical in the sense that if the client decides, you must remember the client, his personal information is everywhere. The moment he buys a general insurance, his information is there. The moment he buys life insurance, his information is there. When he buys an investment, he's there. So
it's not about client data. It really isn't.
Yeah, the client's data is what you hold, yes. But at the end of the day, it is your client who decide who holds their data. Now then it circles round to, now you see why you need to be customer-centric.
Yes. It comes
because
back to the core again.
That's right. Things come full circle.
Yes.
Okay. So insurance, InsurTech, embrace technology. It helps you to do things faster. Can you imagine if your client likes your product and you are able to transact instead of signing a gazillion pages of paper? If you have the information already in your data, and your insurance company is able to incorporate all this in, all you need to do is just generate the form, pre-fill only certain information, current information you need to fill in. You can even have a digital signature, and I know Prudential has started that years ago.
Yes,
right? It makes your life easier. It gives you more time to spend talking and counseling your client.
It's so true. That's so true. Yes. It makes a difference nowadays too, yeah? When you embrace technology in such a stance, the level of advice, the time that you spend, and the word that you use, I think, is such a critical thing that advisors should start using, counseling. It's such an important element to it.
And Kumaran, if it isn't for technology, we won't be sitting and talking to each other.
Exactly. That's true. We wouldn't even have connected in the first place, Linnet. How would we have known each other? Right?
Correct. And you save a lot of time because you don't have to fly to a lot of places, going through jet lag, airport security.
I agree with you. I think it's more of the plane journeys and the distance getting to and fro from the airport that makes a difference.
Correct. So there's a few more things I wanted to share.
Sure.
Last but not least, and I hope you don't mind, I pull this up because I saw this. I love the insurance business canvas.
Thank you.
And I think this is something that every agent should do before they step into this business. And once they step into the business, they must continue to upgrade this piece of document. this is your roadmap to a successful business.
That's so true, Linnet. And thank you for pulling this up from the Insurance Collective. The business canvas really is, to me, it is the storyboard and the narrative of every advisor or agency leader, even not just in the sales distribution elements, even the trainers, the business development people, the relationship managers, right up to recruitment guys. They get to utilize this because it gives them the checkpoint. What really is my story of why I got into the industry? And that transforms all the time. If someone is into the business 5 years later, their narrative changes, their clientele changes, they evolve together with the business. Technology is something that transforms their way and operations of business. But their value proposition, it's the core stays the same, but the way they deliver it, the experience changes as well. So you're so right. This is a checkpoint that they have to review at several times in their career that will then lead them towards what they want to.
And I would like to recommend that when you have done this, and if you have already ticked all those boxes, keep it and do a next one. And sometime along the way, you can show your progress. And this is also your recruitment piece, because when you want to recruit new people, if they can see the tangibility of your journey, they would then join you, and you can attract the right crowd.
You are so right, and that's what we do. What we do with these advisors is such. We will connect with them. We go through the process of recording these things, but then we keep this in archives, and they can always reflect and review and change. And sometimes it gives them a chuckle. Their whole narrative is, I came into the industry because I was just recruited. I don't know. And then after a period of years, I actually love this industry very much. I live to serve for my clients. How can I serve better? So it definitely changes this entire flow. Interesting note also, with the canvas, it can be changed according to different dynamics within the agency. So it could be a prospecting business canvas. It could be a recruitment business canvas. It could be a referral business canvas. And that's where it becomes so malleable.
Yes, and it also, and I think this would be suitable to be done each time you get promoted.
Yes, so true. Or when you hit the target, you're done with one. Okay, how do I up the ante on it? Or what was my experience going through that process? They reach one place. Like, everyone says that MDRT is the target. It actually is the journey. But to record the journey is as important as being part of it.
Correct. I totally, so that's why I said when I saw this, this is something I need to show. I know they probably have seen it, but the more you see it, you internalize it, and you will do it. And I can't expound enough how important this sort of record and journaling is so important.
That's so true. Thank you for that.
And it's also a business plan when you start off.
Correct. Even I do it all the time, to be honest with you. I do it for the Insurance Collective. Every 2-3 months, I'm like, what is my narrative? Is it still the same? Am I still here to serve the community, or what has changed?
Correct. So yeah, so this was something that I felt was so good. And also, the other thing is also that I felt that you need to be open to change, because just when you think you have things down pat, pandemic, no one expected it to change so many things in life. And you will never stop learning, because there are always new things that are coming in. Now there's metaverse. How is it going to affect the insurance industry? How do you buy insurance for a meta property? Meta assets,
which is not tangible, right?
It's not tangible. And it doesn't, and things are so different. So these are things that I'm looking at. Can I just talk a little bit about Takaful also, if you don't mind?
Yes, please, Linnet.
So in Malaysia, because I'm just going back to the landscape that we have previously, Our landscape is a little different because about 70% of our population are Muslims. And because of that, if you look at our landscape, we have Takaful as well. Yeah. And if there's and you ask, hey, what is the difference? And I know that the Muslim community are in almost every country. Just like at one time they say Chinese are everywhere. Now Indians and Muslims are everywhere as well. So I just wanted to give a little insight into this, the understanding of the concept. The purpose of Takaful, and Takaful is not Islamic insurance. Takaful is Takaful. It's an Arabic word for protection.
Right.
And the purpose remains the same, all right, transference of risk. But the operational side and the concept of it is different. So Takaful is based on mutual cooperation, whereas the conventional insurance is based on commercial factors. All right, and the basis is this of Takaful is Sharia law and government law. It's a combination. Because, for example, what do you mean when there is a payout when someone passes away and the Takaful operator pays out? That proceed is not taxable. So the not taxable part is the government law. Okay, the Sharia law is the way they operate and the way they work with the insured. Now, the other thing about Takaful is these are the three areas very important to Muslims. Everything must be free from interest, free from uncertainty and gambling. All right, and then the risk is not shared by the operator itself, but is actually distributed among Takaful participants. So what happened is, if you look at the model that I have, if let's say there's not enough money because there are not enough people to insure, then what will happen is the proceeds, the profits that they make from the Takaful, then they put it aside in the reserve. They will take that out to pay out to the insured or the covered, they call it. They don't call it insured, but they call it covered. Okay. So the Takaful plan holder and shareholders' capital can only be invested in Sharia compliant investment fund. So this is that. On the other side, the conventional insurance, they are not beholden to Sharia law, and the way they invest, they can invest in any investment as long as it is legal.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the thing, that their concept is so different. And the risks are transferred to the insurance provider rather than a pool of people. So it's more community-based. All right. Now, the capital of the premium for conventional insurance is invested in funds. So this is the you can see the difference in the concept between Takaful and conventional, but they work the same way too. So
pretty much very similar in nature.
Yes, and you would see the similar thing in countries that have a majority of Muslims, like Indonesia and Brunei as well. So this is just to give a little bit of context into an extension of the protection industry.
Got you. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for thank you for this concept. I think it's going to be useful for us to understand as the demographics and landscapes change within the countries and all of that. We have to also adapt, right? The insurance industry adapt to knowing that Takaful isn't just in terms of something for Muslim distributors or financial planners. It is for everyone. Because we have clients who are Muslims as well. The Indians and the Chinese have clients who are Muslims as well. And it's great to have this distribution and to break away from the mindset that the knowledge of the Sharia laws or the knowledge of Takaful is just limited to a community.
Correct. In fact, I understand that in some countries, they call it, they have what they call a ethical investing, ethical coverage. So what happens is people who are, like in US, they have Christian financial planning. So when they want to buy insurance product, but because they also have that element they want to avoid, then they may pick up a Takaful.
Yes, yes.
And that's perfectly fine. The only thing is, for now, what they need to do is they need to clean up the framework, because of the model that they are doing now. It tends to work out to be a little bit more expensive than a conventional insurance.
Right.
So I think that is something that's ongoing, how the industry have to grow from here.
I'm absolutely in agreement with that. And thank you for sharing this, because it does give us a fresh perspective about the industry and what we actually might not think about. This gives us an idea, to be honest with you,
Yes.
for those who are focusing on these kinds of products or solutions. Well, thank you so much, Linnet. It's been such a pleasure and honor. And I don't know, time just flew by. I'm sure we could have another hour of this going on. But I'm glad that we connected. I'm glad that you have shared so willingly and extensively on several elements. And would you be able to share with us, Linnet, a final key takeaway, your thoughts, your wisdom to the insurance industry, the community, and the insurance collective about your thoughts?
Yes, I do. And if you look at this picture, it says it all. Insurance should be bought because it is an integral part of personal financial planning. This is what I want to leave with everybody, this thought. Thank you so much, Kumaran. It's been wonderful being on your program.
It is my honor and pleasure, Linnet, and I indeed am looking forward to more sessions with you. I'm indeed looking forward to meeting with you in person at some point to talk about many things that we could do together, because we are aligned. Our thoughts, values, and actions are aligned. I feel that you have brought such dedication and value to the industry in your 20 plus years as being part of this noble industry. I thank you for that. And I'm very grateful again for your time. So thank you, Linnet, and I look forward to speaking with you soon again.
Thank you, and goodbye to everyone. I'm wishing you all the best in your business. Thank you so much.
Thank you.